There is nothing much harder to accept than the truth that you don't want to be true. Sometimes when you tell people the truth and they don't agree with you, and to you it's obvious that it is the truth, sometimes you might just think that these people are stupid, but no, it's just not easy to accept the truth that you don't want to be true. There are people who believe in religions that don't make sense. You think that these people are stupid? No. They want what they believe to be true to be true. So you can tell them the truth about the religions that they believe in. You can tell them that, no, listen, it doesn't make sense. You can even provide proof. Like, listen, your religion is not true. Here's the proof that your religion is not true. They will create a story in their head to discredit what you're saying. If a Christian really wants to believe that Noah existed, the story of Noah is true, you can tell them whatever you want to tell them. They will not believe you. The story of Jacob is true. You can tell them whatever you want to tell them. The story of Jesus is true. You can tell them whatever, bro. Once a human is emotionally invested in something, it's much harder to make them see the truth about it. We think that only women are controlled by their emotions. We don't realize that men are also controlled by their emotions. We think that women are controlled by their emotions because it is not taboo for a woman to be emotional, but it's taboo for a man to be emotional. They tell you that a man shouldn't cry, a man shouldn't talk about his feelings, a man shouldn't express himself, a man shouldn't complain. Men keep things to themselves. So men are like, okay, I have to pretend as if I feel nothing. Because, well, nobody cares anyway. And I know that. So me expressing myself won't really help. But when women express themselves, when women cry, they have support. So it seems like women are more emotional than men, but that is not true. Men are emotional too. So once a human is emotionally invested in something, whether that thing is good or bad, it's hard for them to see the truth about it. That is why you have a friend who's in a relationship where they are being mistreated, they are being cheated on, they are being disrespected, but they choose to believe that that person that they're in a relationship with, is the right person for them. Maybe that person is just broken, they'll believe their lies basically. Maybe that person is just broken. Maybe that person just doesn't know how to act, but that person is going to grow, and you know what I'm saying? There's a guy right now who wants a girl. Texts her every day. Sometimes she texts back, sometimes she doesn't. Sometimes she, agrees to go out with him, but when the day comes, she's busy. She's told him that more than 3 times now, but he still has hope. He's telling himself that she loves him because she's agreed that they will go out. You see, he wants it to be true that she likes him. And even if they do go out, and even if they do end up sleeping together, even if they do end up dating, it doesn't mean that she actually do love him or did love him. It's sometimes people will be with you because of your effort. Like, okay, um, at least this person was very consistent. Like, they kept on trying, they kept on trying, they kept on trying. So why not? But then what's going to happen in the relationship is that the man is going to suffer because he's not really loved. You find that there are things that she will not do for you because she doesn't love you. She's bored by you. So, but then you still choose to believe that no, she's just, this is how she is, you know. She doesn't want us to have sex this week because, well, that's how she is as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you keep on making excuses for her. Like, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you this week because of this and that. I have exams and all that. And you believe that. Like, no. If a woman is really in love with you, she always wants to see you. She always wants to know what's going on. It's how it works naturally. She naturally wants to know what you're busy with, what's going on, how your day was like. That's just how it works. If something is true, you'll know it's true. You won't even have doubts, bruh. If it's something that everyone knows about, you know, they will prove to you that it's true. Like, if a religion is true, you would know that it's true. You wouldn't have any doubt. If Christianity was true, we would know that it's true. We wouldn't have any doubts. Come on. Like, should let it be obvious. But the problem is that people are emotionally invested in that religion, right? They want the stories that are in the Bible to be true. They want Jesus to exist. They want God to exist. They want heaven to exist. Because they can't stand the truth that, or the possibility that it might not exist. Like, they can't accept the possibility that it might not exist. So they would rather believe that, you know, it's all true. It's all real. You must understand how your brain works if you want to really understand reality itself. There are things that you believe because you want these things to be true. You desperately want these things to be true, and you don't know what other options you have. You're like, oh, if I didn't believe this, then what do I believe then? I remember my mom used to tell me this. She's like, I used to, when I was still going to church but realizing that something is off, I would tell her that no, because I care about the truth, right? I would tell her that no, I think there's something wrong, you know, look at these stories. They don't really seem to make sense. And she'll be like, okay, let's just say you're right. What do we do then? You know what I'm saying? Because this is my life. I go to church. This is all I know. This is the life I know. And you think about it and you're like, but she's not wrong. It's all she knows. So even if I'm right, but because she wants Christianity to be true, she would rather choose to not believe that I'm right. She would rather choose to not accept the truth, right? We have never seen a miracle, not even one miracle, a miracle that we all can prove that it's actually a miracle. All we have seen so far is tricks. The best miracles are miracles that happen when there's no one. Find that someone gives testimony, and they tell you something that is impossible. You're like, why didn't that happen in front of witnesses? So it only happened when we were alone. Huh, that's weird. I remember this girl that I used to go to church with. This other weekend, she decided to visit a boyfriend. When she went back home, oh, actually, she didn't tell a family that she was going somewhere. I think she told them actually she was going to town, but she didn't tell them that she's going to go and see her boyfriend. So she just switched off her phone for the whole weekend. And her family told the whole village that she was kidnapped. She's lost actually. Like they didn't tell people that she was kidnapped. When she came back. Actually, she spent more than a weekend. She came back maybe after 3 or 4 days, and she said she was kidnapped, and people believed that, you know. People believed that at first until she gave a testimony in church. She said that they kidnapped her and they tied her to a tree, and they wanted to kill her, and she started to pray, saying, "In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus," and a fire appeared somewhere, and all those people ran away with guns. They ran away, and the rope untied itself. And they're like, huh? And I'm telling you, like, people know that their religion is not true because they didn't believe her. I mean, she gave them a story that if really the Christianity was true, that will happen. So she gave them a story that actually, like, that aligns with what's happened, what we're told happened in the Bible, but they didn't believe. You know, so they kept on asking her questions. Even the pastor sat down with her and started to ask her more questions, and she ended up confessing that she went to see her boyfriend, and the pastor told her that, "Oh no, go back and apologize to the people. You know, don't lie. Go back." And she ended up apologizing. They said because miracles don't happen. I'm talking about, listen, synchronicities will happen, right? Things that you can think of that are possible can happen, right? There can be a person who looks exactly like you in this world and that you end up meeting one day by coincidence. That is possible. That is very possible. You could end up meeting me somewhere while watching my video. So you're watching my video, let's just say you're in a restaurant watching a video, watching my video, and come inside and you see me. You're like, that's impossible, that's a miracle. No, it's not a miracle, it's synchronicities. We know that the reality itself is scripted, but there are things that just don't happen, that we know do not happen. We know if you lose your hand, you lost your hand. They can't pray for you and your hand grows back. That's just impossible. We have never seen that happen. You get what I'm saying? But people will say that happened, you know? So the best miracles happen in private. You're like, obviously, all of it is not true, but people want it to be true. So they would rather believe that it's true than to believe that it isn't, because believing that it isn't doesn't give them comfort. You see? There is nothing much harder to accept than the truth that you don't want to be true. There is nothing much harder to reject than a lie that you want to be true. So if you want a lie to be true, you won't reject it. That's why if you're in a relationship and someone mistreats you, do you wrong, do you dirty, and they come and explain to you, and give even if they give you some BS explanation, as long as they're saying sorry, you're probably going to believe them. You're going to make excuses for them. But if you don't care about them, if you don't want them to love you, you'll hold them accountable, and you probably just leave. Like, it is what it is. People don't care that much about the truth. They care about how something makes them feel, right? So if a lie makes them feel good, they will believe that lie because that's how they cope. People want to cope in this world. People don't want to suffer. I would say 99% of the people that we live with, they're not driven by a desire for truth. They're driven by a desire for comfort. you are watching my videos, I mean, if you're still watching this video now, I do believe that you are driven by your desire for truth. Like, you want to see things as they really are. But that's not how many people are. They are driven by desire for comfort. They want to feel comfortable. They want to feel happy. And that doesn't mean that if you're pursuing truth, you don't want to feel happy or you don't want comfort, but you value truth more than happiness and comfort. Meaning that even if the truth doesn't make you happy or it's in what you prefer, you'll still choose it. And it will give you peace afterwards. You know, like it's not going to give you peace at that moment when you accept it. It's going to give you peace after some time. You know, it's going to give you peace. Like, you'll be able to look back and say, I'm glad that I chose truth than to believe a lie, because now I'm free, right? Truth sets you free. Believe it or not, first it will confuse you, but it will set you free. It's always how it works. If there's been a lie that you believed and you were brave enough to see beyond that lie, you're going to be confused at first, but after some time, that truth that you will have found will set you free. There's a reason why there are a lot of people who believe that humanity is having a positive experience, even though the evidence says otherwise. I usually ask people like a very simple question. Look, if now you say I'm recording a video because I want to be recording a video. So let's just say some people came into my room and kidnapped me, took me to a place that I don't know, a place where people live by different rules. I didn't agree that I wanted to be in that place. Some people in that place are happy. Some people in that place are not happy. If they put me in that place, obviously, as a whole society would look at it as a bad thing. I didn't say, hey, I want to be in that place. Isn't that the same as having a child? You are bringing someone into a world that they didn't ask to be in, and you want them to live by the rules of that world. And if they say they are not okay, you blame them, you gaslight them. Can we honestly say that that's a good thing? Can we honestly say that a world that is like that is actually good? Of course we can't. But no. Nobody's gonna like try to see that truth. People will try to debate that even though it's not debatable. We're not saying don't do things that are immoral. I don't want to tell people not to do things that are immoral, because I think it's very difficult to always do things that are not immoral, like to always do things that are right. So you can understand why maybe someone would have a child and not even blame them. Like, it is what it is, but let's not lie to ourselves about what it really means, right? We must not act as if we didn't bring someone into a world without their consent, in a world that they might not like, in a world where they might suffer, because in life there doesn't seem to be like life, nature itself doesn't care about morality, right? The universe doesn't seem to care about morality. Morality is a human thing. So you have to understand that anything is possible. That person that you brought into this world, they can get kidnapped and get tortured. I remember I watched a speech. Angelina Jolie won an award. She gave a speech. I don't remember if it was at the Oscars. He said something real. that sometimes she doesn't understand life because she's here, she's holding an award. Everyone, is clapping for her. She lives in a nice house. She's beautiful. Yeah. Things are going her way. It's not because she's worked harder than everyone. It's not because she's smarter than everyone. It's not because of all of that. I said I don't understand because there's a woman somewhere who's being mistreated, who doesn't have any rights, who's more talented than me, who probably will do a better job than me, who worked much harder than me, but she's somewhere hungry, crying, alone. That's life. I was like, wow. She gets it. Like, that is true. Just because I'm privileged doesn't mean that I mustn't see the truth about life. So I was like, damn, that's beautiful. That's honest. That's coming from a real place. That's not, I tell people that not being able to see the truth in a situation, to me, is madness. Like, if you ask me what is madness, I'll say your inability to see the truth about something. That is madness, right? If something is the case, but you don't see it that way, to me, that is madness. You might not be eating leaves, talking alone, screaming alone sometimes, and all of that. But if you can't see the truth, to me, that is madness. Right? You must be able to see things as they are. You could be crying alone all the time. People might be saying that you're crazy. If you can see the truth, to me, you're not crazy. To me, you're not mad. It's so funny that some people would not look at this as a realm where we were not put for a good reason, for a reason that would agree is a good reason. You're like, but everything tells us that we're not actually put here for a good reason or for our own good. You can see that we're not really working for ourselves. It's like we're working for something. It's like if you're a slave and you believe that you're a slave for your own good. So the slave masters enslaved you for your own good. But you can see that you're not working for yourself. You're working for them. They're the ones who are actually benefiting. They're the ones who tell you when to sleep, when to wake up, when to have babies, if you want to have babies. They're the ones who tell you where you can go and where you can't go. What you can say, what you can't say. When to drink water, when you can't. You know what I'm saying? When to pee. When to use the bathroom. They're the ones who tell. But you be like, they're doing all of that for my own good. No, they're not. They're doing that for their own good. So we can see that we're not really working for ourselves. Since we were little, we weren't programmed to do things that actually benefit us as people. We were trained to do things that benefit the system, and then the system rewards us. So it's not actually something that benefits us, it's what benefits the system. And the system is like, okay, you are doing this for me, so I'm going to give you just enough for you to survive so that you'll be able to keep on what you're doing for me. Do you get what I'm saying? Not, the system doesn't seem to appreciate that. Like, yo, I appreciate what you have done for me. No. The system wants you, so it must keep you by giving you just enough. And you look around you and you're like, damn, the world is full of people who don't have what I have. So let me appreciate what I have. Let me do what I can do to get what I need, right? That's what's happening. It's not easy being a human being, bruh. In this world, it is not easy. They give you a name, a date of birth, an ID, nationality, place you where they place you in the social hierarchy, tell you if you're a male or if you're a female. I was telling someone who considered themselves to be very intelligent and woke. I was like, even though in any reality I would not change my gender, but I don't blame those who do, because they are exercising their freedom. It's what they want. At the end of the day, I must do what I want. So yes, I would never do that, but they're doing what they want. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're just doing what they want. They're just being creative. I don't know, man. They're just being, like, sometimes let's judge people if they're doing things that are actually harmful to others, right? If someone is doing something that actually makes them happy, let's say someone is gay and it's making them happy, it's making them happy. I might not understand them, but it doesn't mean that I must hate them. It doesn't mean that I must say they're wrong and then make them miserable and judge them and all of that, right? So yeah, they tell you if you're a male, if you're a female, they tell you what to believe, what not to believe, what to think, what not to think, what to do, what not to do. They give you laws and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So you are already in a prison, because there are some things that you're not supposed to do and there's some things that you can do. So it's not easy being a human. You might say, what about the value alignment problem? Because we can't live in a world where we can just do whatever we want. But here's the thing, though. When you look at what's possible now, at technological level that the world operates on, you'd realize that maybe it was possible for each and every individual to live in a world that was designed for them to thrive. You find that the world was literally created for you. Maybe you are the only one who's conscious. Or even if you're not the only one who's conscious in the world, the way everyone is programmed makes life easier for everyone. You see, we live in a world where listen, man, a lion has to eat a rabbit to survive. Do you understand? We've been set up. A lion has to eat an animal to survive. We've been set up. Why is it that we don't live in a world where animals are able to work together and just have fun, not be living in fear? And you want to tell me this is good? So maybe it was it was possible to create a world where you are just happy, bro. Like, things are just working out for you, and you just have, maybe you're the only one in that world, but it wouldn't even matter. I've spoken to you a lot about solipsism. That actually, when you think deeply about how reality works, you'd realize that solipsism makes more sense than anything that you can believe. When I say that solipsism makes sense, I'm not really saying it's true. I'm saying that's what makes sense to believe, right? We can't really know for sure what is true, but that's what makes sense to believe. But even if you're a solipsist, it doesn't mean that you wouldn't want to have a good life here. You could be a solipsist but still have a good life. Still enjoy your experience here. Feeling as if you are the only conscious being. The same way that if you watch a movie, my favorite movie is Inception. I know it's a movie. I know they're acting, but I love it. There are movies that I've watched that I just didn't like. John Wick. I didn't like John Wick. It's a movie, but I don't like it. You see? So even if you're the only conscious being in the universe, it's not impossible for you to be in a universe that you don't like, and it's not impossible for you to be in a universe that you like. And it's not just about you being successful and all that. Maybe the rules, the laws, the laws of nature, the way things work. You find that, no, you love the way things work. You resonate with everything. So you are having a great time. It would be nice to be in a simulation that was created for you 100%. And you thought, there were other people, but it was created 100% for you based on your needs and wants and your desires. But even when we sleep and we dream, it's weird that we don't find ourselves in a world that was made for, like, you still suffer in your dreams, even though it seems like you are the only one, right? After waking up from your dream, you're like, yeah, I was the only one in that dream, but you still suffer. Like, it sucks that we suffer in our dreams, bro. I mean, for real, why do we have nightmares? I mean, what the heck is sleep paralysis? You're sleeping, you see a shadow figure, you can't move. The worst sleep paralysis that I've had so far, the worst sleep paralysis experience that I've had so far happened last year. Yeah, it was last year, January, February, yeah, somewhere there. I'm sleeping. I was not this side. Sleeping, still in my town. And I saw this lady. I wouldn't say she's ugly, but have you ever looked at a person who is just creepy? Like, she's tall, she's walking around my bed like this with this weird smile, and I can't move, and I can see her face clearly. It's not a shadow figure, it's a real human being, but then I've never seen a person like her before. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just scary, right? Even if you see her in real life, you just be scared. She's not ugly, but she's scary. So she's walking around my bed and I can't move. I'm trying to scream, I can't. I'm scared. Like, that was the worst. What is that? Maybe I wasn't giving the icons enough loose, so they're like, we're gonna get him in his sleep. Who knows? What the hell was that? And I've had many sleep paralysis experiences, usually with the shadow figure. Not so long ago, I saw something entering through the window. It was a shadow figure. It came toward it. What I like these days is that when I'm having like those kind of experiences, I fight. So I woke up ready to fight, but I couldn't move as fast as I wanted, but I kind of scared it away. And then I woke up and I was like, that was real. It didn't feel like a dream, it felt real. Another sleep paralysis experience that I've had, it was still where I was living in my town, where 4 shadow figure entered my room and they tried to kidnap me. When I was still in the village, similar thing happened to me, but it was just one shadow figure. This guy just stood beside my bed like this, not moving. But at first I felt like I couldn't move, but I was able to. And then I tried to grab him like this so that I can wrestle him. Because at first I just thought it was just a human, but he was too powerful. And then I woke up and I was like, huh? And on top of that, we have nightmares. You're sleeping, dreaming, now you're being chased by some. Even if you don't even have nightmares, like, you have dreams that are just bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not having dreams where things are going in your favor. You find that things are not going in your favor, even in your dreams. So how is this not a hell realm? If in your dreams you're the only one who's conscious, shouldn't you be having the best experiences in a world where you're the only one? You might say, well, it has to do with your beliefs. You just must learn to play the game. It's like, who's teaching you how to play the game? You teaching yourself? How do you even teach yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to be open about what we're feeling as we're going through life. Lying to ourselves, pretending as if things are okay, even if we can feel that something isn't quite right. That isn't going to help us. That's only going to make things worse, you know? Because that means that we're never going to talk about the real problems that conscious beings are facing. We will always forget these problems that conscious beings are facing, pretending as if everything is okay. And that's what we have been doing the whole time. People like to avoid the elephant in the room. You see, I'm the kind of person who always try to address the elephant in the room. It's like, no, there's this elephant. Like, no. First of all, let's stop playing games right now. Let's stop playing cards right now. Let's stop pretending as if everything is okay. There's an elephant here. What is it doing here? Where does it come from? How do we get it out of here? That's the kind of person that I am. I'm always going to address the elephant in the room. I'm not going to pretend as if things are. This reminds me of this other clip. It was a short comedy video, actually. So this lady went on a date with this guy. He had nuts hanging. Yeah. He had nuts. So she was trying to avoid that. You know, she's trying to ignore that, you know, just try to talk to him because she felt like he might actually be insecure about that. But, she couldn't. She's like, there's something here, what tell me about it and all that. He was like, what's here? And he touched it, but then he pretended it was nothing. But it took her time for her to address that. I'm not the kind of person that needs to be addressed right away. That's the kind of person that I am. But humans have been taught to not address the elephant in the room. Like, people can pretend as if things are okay just because a lot of people are pretending as if things are okay. Like, we're scared. That's the problem. It's the reason why I keep on telling y'all to choose love over fear. It's like, don't be scared. Just address it. Let people talk. Let it be what it is. You're not going to die. In most cases, in most cases, you're not going to die. We don't live in a world where they just kill you just because you spoke your truth. At least now you can. You are in a meeting and there's something that you feel like you must say, but you don't say it because of fear. You are not doing yourself a favor, or anyone a favor, really. You must say it. Say it. Say it while shaking. It's fine. Do what you want to do while shaking. That's better than doing nothing. That's better than pretending as if everything is okay. Be brave. Say what you need to say, do what you need to do, address what you need to address. Don't be afraid of the real truth. Like, I'm afraid what the real truth is, so I'll keep on believing what I want the truth to be. No. Try your best to figure out what the real truth is. Even if you end up not loving the real truth, it's still fine. You will get used to it. You will still get used to it. There's been so many instances in my life where I find myself having to accept certain truth, like uncomfortable truth. At first it was very difficult, but after accepting this truth, and you're no longer living in denial, you start to heal. That's what healing is, actually. Believe it or not, healing is accepting the truth. That's you being able to accept the truth about yourself, the truth about other people, the truth about reality, the truth about the world, the truth about your parents. That is healing. Healing is in line with yourself. Healing is telling yourself the truth and accepting it. So if you believe that you must lie to yourself to feel good, and you keep on doing that, you keep on lying to yourself, of course, things aren't gonna work in your favor in the long run. Me telling you that we're not having a positive experience, this is not me being negative. This is me being honest. And I've seen some people make comments in my video saying that, if you think negative things, and negative things will happen to you. I'm telling you, man. There's been so many things that I was afraid of, that I would think about constantly, that never happened. And there's been so many things that I wasn't afraid of that happened. You don't even think about it. You find it something bad, but you don't even think about it. You never even think about it, but then it happens, and you're shocked that it happened. Life is scripted. Keep that in mind all the time. Yes, there's a bit of truth in everything. Don't be a negative person. Be a truthful person. Yes, if you're gonna be like this negative person who's always like in every in every situation, even in situations that are just neutral, you choose negativity. Yeah, of course, things ain't gonna work out for you, right? Of course, but sometimes the truth is just negative. Sometimes the truth is just negative. And because the foundation of this world isn't something good, it's something that's actually negative, and then you expect negativity from it, right? So even the things that are good are predicated upon something that is negative. You see the problem? So there needs to be intellectual honesty when going through life, so that you can see the world for what it is and be strong enough to accept the truth about the world as it is. I'm telling you, that is real growth. I believe that I started to grow for real. Like I've not been growing until I reached the age of 25. Like I wouldn't say that I was growing. But from the age of 25, when I started to see the world for what it is, I started to grow. I started to reach high levels of consciousness. I started to understand things that I didn't understand. And it was much easier for me to handle problems that life threw at me, because I was much more honest with myself than a regular person. So I wouldn't be shocked by things that happen. Be like, oh, of course, I get it. So that's why intellectual honesty is important. We cannot keep on getting away with lying to ourselves regularly, believing that we will be okay in the end. Like I keep on telling you that I don't think I know that people don't like to hear this, but I don't think that we die. I think we're eternal. I think we go to other realms, after this life. And what sucks is that we keep on forgetting. Like you will know that you were having an experience, but you will it will depend on those. It will depend on whether you will be born or not in that realm. Like will it be like a reset? But then if you find yourself in another realm and it feels like you are continuing, like you have died from the other realm that you were in, you're continuing, you will have some memories of what happened in your previous life, right? Or it's just going to be more like a dream, like waking up from a dream. And you'll be like, oh, it was just a dream. And you find that the people that you've interacted with here are still there in the world that you're going to wake up in. And you'll be like, So in my dream, you betrayed me. Because we've had dreams where our best friends betrayed us, or our parents betrayed us, the people that we trusted betrayed us. And you're like, damn. And then you wake up and you're like, oh, it was just a dream. And you wake up and be like, yeah, you betrayed me in my dream. What was that all about? Like I've had so many dreams where the people that I trusted betrayed me. And I never understood why. But what you must keep in mind is that it's not easy to accept the truth if you are comfortable with the lie. It's not easy. Someone said, they were saying this about veganism. They said that it's hard to convince a man that what they're doing is wrong if their survival depends on them not believing that what they're doing is wrong, right? If your survival depends on you eating meat, it's hard for you to believe that you are killing a sentient being that also wanted to live. We do understand that life is life, bro, at the end of the day. But there's some truth that we also still need to accept. Even if you're gonna eat a chicken, but there has to be a part of you that's like, man, I hate that I had to kill that chicken. You know? I hate that I had to kill that chicken. I think there's some people, I don't know what religion they believe in, but when they kill an animal, they apologize. Like, they do eat animals, but when they kill these animals, they apologize first. Or after they killed it, I don't know. It's like they get it that, hey, you're a sentient being that also wanted to live, but hey, these are the rules. I'm not doing this because that's what I would want to do. It's like, not the rules actually, it's just the laws, the universal laws maybe, or the laws of nature. It's just how it works. You know, cycle of life, whatever. It's not even me trying to justify that. It's just how it is. So I do see that nature is flawed. I don't like that this is how things are, but this is the situation that we're in. You know, just like if they put two people who don't want to fight in a ring and said, the one who gets out alive is gonna be free. If you watch movies like Undisputed, you're like, I don't wanna fight with you, you know. But this is the situation that we're in. So, you know, one of us is gonna walk out of here free. So what do we do? Do we just sit here and do nothing? If we sit here and do nothing, they're gonna send some guys to come and beat us up. So what do we do? You know what I'm saying? Because it's the same thing with hunger. It's like, if you don't eat that meat, you're gonna be hungry. So what do you do? So you can see that this is just wrong, but we are in it. We're part of the game. So it doesn't mean that we mustn't acknowledge the truth about the game that we're playing. What it means is that we must figure out the ways to free ourselves while knowing the truth, rather than being delusional, telling ourselves that the experience that we're having is good or it's positive, even if the evidence tells us something different. That doesn't help. I've never seen that help anyone. Intellectual honesty is a beautiful thing. Being able to see some truth and say, look, I don't prefer this to be the case, but based on everything that I've seen, this is the case. Or this is what I believe is the case. So I'm not gonna lie to myself just to feel comfortable, right? Because that's not gonna help me. I believe that strength really comes from acknowledgement of truth. I believe that is true strength. This is the truth. This is what I believe the truth is. And I'm not gonna lie to myself about it. Thank you all guys for watching until the end. And if you've watched this video until the end, tell me in the comment. I loved it. Being able to explore reality with you guys, like, it has helped me a lot. It's so therapeutic, you know, being able to express myself, because you can even see the authenticity, and like you can see that this guy is not lying. Like he's just speaking his mind. That's why I'm able to do this. Like, because some people will be like, why are your videos long? You know, or how are you able to make videos consistently that are long? I'm not it's so easy for me because I'm not thinking of how people are gonna take what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to say something that sounds cool, because that will take a lot of brain power, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to work a lot trying to make sure that you say the right things. I'm not trying to say the right things. I'm trying to say the most truthful things. So I don't have to ask myself if what I'm saying is gonna make me look a certain way. Like, I don't care. I just say what feels true, what feels real. You know what I'm saying? So you guys being able to appreciate that, and you know, showing love, relating, that is a beautiful thing. That's a very therapeutic thing, you know. So thank you all guys for watching until the end. Like the video, tell me what you think in the comments, share the video, let us keep on growing. I really like the fact that the channel is growing, you know, especially considering the topics that I talk about. You know, these are topics that maybe a lot of people are not ready for, but these are necessary topics to have. These are necessary topics to discuss, you know, as we evolve as humanity, as we go to the next stage. You know, we can't keep on thinking the way that we used to think 200 years ago. You know, we have to see some truth about this realm. Thank you all guys.